Make them more evil. Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez. With me today is my good old friend, Jay Yee.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Jay?
I've been watching so much One Piece, dude. It's
Hell
been
yeah.
taking over my video game time, actually. Besides playing Frozen Wilds DLC for Horizon, I've pretty much just been watching One Piece. And so
I've been trying to catch up to One Piece. I'm still in the Land of Wano arc. I don't know if that's current still, because the arcs, it's so many. You know how it goes now because you've watched tons of One Piece. When it's building up, it's all the intersecting pieces slowly getting to one point. And once it gets to the one point, that's when it gets good. But you have to have all of the crew all around the island or the area of where it is deal with whatever they're dealing with and their mini bosses for then Luffy to do the main boss.
Right. So I hope this gets better with the quality of just anime in general getting better over the ages. So I'm at the Summit War, right? And the Summit War is really good, right?
What's a Summit War?
That's the Whitebeard versus Marineford.
You hit it. That's the good stuff. That's peak One Piece.
And the manga is great because, no filler. It's just straight. Just what happens next. This is what's happening. Even if sometimes I remember reading it back in the day, a chapter that you would wait a month for, literally 8 pages. And you're like,
that's how Boruto is for me. I'm fully caught up.
You're like, that's all I get for this whole month. I only get 8 pages of One Piece, and it's just him going.
The latest chapter of Boruto. Boruto gets stabbed on the floor.
Right.
That's it. He just gets impaled, and then he's on the floor.
Yeah. But dude, they just fill time, man. They do 1 second reactions for every character that's involved in this war. And I'm like, this is just the whole episode, huh? It's just watching the reactions of every single person just react to Ace getting punched right through the chest. And I'm like,
wait, you saw Ace get punched through the chest?
Yeah. That's the last episode I just watched. Spoilers for One Piece, everybody.
Ace!
But yeah, it's great. I'm almost a time skip, and I'm super excited because I want to play World Seeker really badly.
I do like the voice acting. Murigawa.
Whitebeard has a terrible laugh. You wait all this time, and that's the laugh Whitebeard gets.
I love the sound effect for Whitebeard's power, though. The whick, and then he basically breaks the world or whatever's going on.
Breaks the dimensions, essentially. Tremor fruit my ass. He has dimension fruit powers.
Yep. And that's when you find out where you're like, not all devil fruit is built the same whatsoever.
No. Magma, that's cheating.
But those are not the games that we are talking about today. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, we are not game devs. We'll create a new, exciting video game idea that we have never... that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. And today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Dev's 190th IP. Let's begin with this basic concept. I want to do a game like this. Did you ever play Mortal Kombat?
I played heavily back when it was Mortal Kombat 2. What is it on now? 10?
Like 11. Do you remember how Mortal Kombat's story started out, where it's pretty simple, where fighters from all realms would gather and there would be a Mortal Kombat where they would kind of fight for their own realm. So they would all be fighting against each other to see who won.
I was way too young to understand the story of Mortal Kombat 2. I was very, very little. I probably shouldn't have been playing that game.
Neither should I, but it's fine.
I want to create. That's all fighting game stories, right? Like you take Soul Calibur, it's just all these people that were called to a certain area by the Soul Calibur, and they're finding it. It's like their destiny.
I hope Soul Calibur knows how good its announcer is. On a windy afternoon, as strolling through a meadow, the leaves touch your ankles as you see a strange man with knives get up. You feel his death's intent, and you know that fate has met its destiny on the winds. fight. And you're like, what? What was Cassandra doing today? What was going on?
Why is
Volvo
fighting
here?
Volvo? Yeah, that's gross, man.
I want to create a battle royale fighting game
Okay.
where you're fighting, but I want to make it where the time to kill is less, but I want it to be a legitimate fighting game where you're using different moves. So I want it to be almost where if you spot somebody, you can do a fight, but I don't know whether I should do it where we should wheel it off or if there should be only one-on-ones, or you know what I'm saying? I don't know how we can make it work, but I want it to be hand to hand with some powers that you have. What do you think?
Okay. Have you ever played this game called Absolver?
No.
It was a game that was developed by a studio that's coming out with a new game soon called Sifu. I wish I could remember what the developer is called. But Absolver was a cool idea that is kind of like this, but theirs wasn't a battle royale. It was just an open world that is always online, and you could meet random people and get into fights with them. And it wasn't like round based, and there was no winners or anything. You're just out there. It was an RPG, and you level up by fighting other people that are either computers or real people. And then there's an upcoming game called like Wreckmania Rumble or something like that, which is a wrestling battle royale. I don't know anything about it, so we'll throw that out the window and pretend that doesn't exist.
Okay.
First idea for me in this is I think it would be cool is you choose, let's say it's like 75 people, decent size map. I wouldn't say it's as big as like World's Edge from Apex or even the map from Fortnite. I would say it's a little bit smaller. I'm thinking more like mobile game-esque battle royales, like Call of Duty for mobile or Final Fantasy First Soldier for mobile, where it's like a big map, but you could traverse it pretty easily. And I think it would be cool if you get into an encounter and first shot is taken, like initiative is taken, I think a ring forms around them. So it'll be like a ring that no one could enter, and you can't get out until there's a winner for that ring. And I think it would be cool if it wasn't just 1v1s. I think it would be like if 4 people met within proximity and were going to get into a fight, it'll start a free-for-all for 1v1v1v1. You know what I mean? Or if they're in squads, it'd be a 2v2,
and I
team
guess
of 2 versus
it'd be,
a team of 2.
I'd want it to be, I think they would be really cool if this is what happened. If when you played 1v1 between 2 players, it was a side-scrolling fighting game. It's like Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat. But if any more joined, like 3 or 4, and you fought at the same time like that, it would turn into a Super Smash Brothers style where you're all on the screen and you're jumping around and kicking. Because at that point, side-scrolling traditionally wouldn't work because the person in the middle just gets fucked. But if you're able to move around a little bit like you do in Super Smash Brothers, or I'm even open to doing like Budokai Tenkaichi where you're in a 3D world and you can sidestep.
Yeah, like Tekken.
And I think,
I think more like a Tekken or Budokai would make more sense because it would be weird and uncanny if like all of a sudden you're in a 3D and then like a Pokemon thing happens and you're in a 2D plane. You know what I mean? Like you just get what happens to like, I think it would be a cool idea. Like if other fighters happen upon your arena, they could watch your fight happen. You know what I mean? And it'll be there in real time. And it'll be weird if all of a sudden it's like watching it on a TV screen.
So
I want the rings to be visible on the map so other fighters could head towards that ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you want there to be like when you beat an opponent to pick up either their loot or maybe a power of theirs or something like that, or maybe then you could choose to inhabit their style if you like? I don't know if there should be anything like that that you can take from your opponent.
Yeah, I think what it's going to have to be is going to be different gear. So I don't know what kind of fighting you had in mind. is it going to be like a hero battle royale, kind of like Apex, or is it going to be more like um, Warzone, where it's everyone's on the same level in terms of abilities and skills? Like, did you
I
want
want there
it
to
to be like a
be
fighting
different
game?
fighting styles. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I want
so
it to be,
like,
I guess it would be more like a hero, like Apex,
yeah,
because I want there to be different fighting styles
just
and
like a
different people you can choose
typical
from.
fighting game where each fighter has like their style and
Yes.
personality and like voice actor and stuff like that. Okay, cool. If
Yes.
it's going to be like that, yeah, I think it's going to have to be kind of like Apex, where there are like, well, I guess not like Apex. It's going to be like a fighting game where your fighter has their combos and has their move sets and all their abilities, right? What you're looting is going to be like gear. So armor to like buff up your defense a little bit, or maybe your move speed, maybe your evasion is a little bit faster. And then maybe it could be like not weapons, but like gloves or something that like up your attack power or attack speed. And then there could be multiple different ones, like there'll be like 4 different armor sets, and each armor set, maybe if you can mix and match, but if you have like a full set, maybe it gets
Hmm.
a bonus on top of that. And instead of it being a rarity thing, maybe yeah, it is trying to complete a set, and maybe it's like 2 of a 5-piece set gives you an extra bonus type of thing. And maybe there's an super ultra rare gold set that is in the game, in the map, that you have to go look for, but there's only like one of that in the entire map, and like you could only get it if you have to either find them all or like loot them off the dead bodies, you know what I mean?
Right,
um
right, right.
how the game flows, in my opinion, how it's going to work is you go on this map, it's going to be kind of small, you kind of see edge to edge, and what happens is 2 people or more start fighting. You see the arena, people start going towards that arena, maybe getting fights on the way. And then maybe when you get there, you kind of get put into a queue.
Like a
And
tournament ranking almost, where you get to watch.
yeah, you get to watch, and then you get to fight whoever wins type of thing. But as the winner, I think it'll be interesting if they have the decision to fight the next fighter or flee. And if they flee, maybe we could have it some kind of mechanic for fleeing where you have to go chase the guy down as the next opponent and like catch him, and then maybe you start a fight if you catch him and he has like lower health or something. Something to that extent, where it's like you line up kind of like a tournament, and then there's like ways to
Hmm.
get out of it.
Okay. And then I'm guessing that each of these fighters are also going to need some type of traversal powers too, to get away from fights if they don't want to engage and to run away, right?
Yeah, I think maybe that's part of the mechanics of the game. Maybe we could take a little sample. That's not the word, but we'll just use it because I can't think of the word right now. A sample from Ubisoft and Hyperscape, where Hyperscape was a parkour battle royale. So maybe there's like parkour elements to this, where
Hmm.
maybe if you decide to flee, you get like a 10-second head start, and then you could like run away and try to get away. And maybe the risk and reward for either chasing him down is that maybe there were multiple people in queue for this tournament, and that will like just cause disarray, and all these fighters are all of a sudden all either chasing or trying to get into fights with other people that were in queue. It's going to get pretty messy, but there has to be some kind of balancing that we could do to make sure it's just not all warfare if someone decides to flee. Maybe like everyone gets invulnerability for like 10 seconds or even less than that, like 5 seconds or something.
Because we, even if we do it where it's a free for all, we can do lock on and stuff like that, but you're still going to encounter just clusterfucks where
Yeah.
everyone's just punching everybody, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, maybe there's only a 2 queue maximum. If there's already 2 people waiting to queue into a next fight, you have to move on, and you can be targeted to start another fight if there's already 2 people in queue, or 2 teams or squads or however it's going to be.
Right.
We would have to limit it pretty heavily, so maybe we won't get 1v1v1v1s until a future patch where we start balancing it a little bit better and like figuring out ways to do that. Maybe at first it is just 1v1s, and maybe it is going to be 1v1v1v1 Super Smash Bros. Style, essentially, but in a 3D plane somehow. If 4 people happen to all initiate at the same time. But otherwise, I think 1v1s are the way to go, just to make things simple for this.
Yeah, I almost want to reduce player size on these maps, because if you do 70, that's a lot of fights.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's probably going to be more like around 20 people drop into a very small map. Like I'm thinking,
and I
you
think
could get
that would be
from,
more manageable.
Yeah, I think you can get from place to place on this map pretty easily, and then also to run away and hide inside a building or something. It'll make it so you could hide and then get back into the action super quick. You know what I mean? And maybe the reason why you would want to hide is either maybe you're fatigued because maybe you just won 3 fights in a row and you're like, I just need to rest my hands, and maybe go find, I don't know, what's another loot that you might want? Like
Armor, health restore.
So your health doesn't come back after each fight. So like, because I was thinking it would.
Sure. Yeah. What if your health does, but your armor does not?
Or maybe it's like you know how in some fighting games, I think they give you a little bit of health. Like they don't give you all your health back, but they give you partial health back.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something like that. So like maybe it's like every time you win a fight, you get a combo multiplayer where like at each fight after that, you get more health come back or something like that. Or you get like some kind of buff if you win multiple fights in a row.
No, we can't do this. I was going to say, if you squad up, would you be able to bring in your other friends to play with you, almost like assists, like it has in a different
I
like
was
Marvel
thinking
versus
it
Capcom?
would be more like tag team. So you could tag your partner in and out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be interesting, because then it's like you're not only fighting, but so are your friends, and you guys are all fighting against squads.
And what do you think? Oh, what if it was like super complicated where let's say in this game, it's only the teams are 2v2 and that's as big as we get. And so it's only teams of 2. It's not like Apex where it's 3 or Warzone where it's 4. It's only 2 people. And when you tag team, that you get put into another arena. Like there's 2 arenas right next to each other. And if you tag team, you have to switch, but the other person has to fight the person on the other team. So like you're always fighting, but if you tag team in and out, maybe like you just, maybe as a team, you're like, this guy's better than me. You're a better fighter than me. So let's tag team. You fight him and we'll go in here. And then the other team will probably just do it again. But maybe there's like a cooldown on tag teaming.
That's just hilarious where you're like, this dude's fucking me up. Switch. Oh man, he's beating me up too. Let's kill his partner. Hurry. Maybe we can double team him.
Yeah. And then after that, maybe you could just tag team in and out while the other person just waits.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. So how far do you want the powers to go? Do you want there to be significant powers? Because I'm thinking like nothing too crazy. A Hadouken here, an Earth Shatter there, a stun maybe. You know, just something to give a little bit of flair.
Right. I think how it's going to have to go is everyone has their basic combos. And then for the more complicated combos, you definitely would have them, but it'll only be like one special combo that you could use per character. And then each character will have 2 like abilities. And then these abilities will be unique to that character for what they are as a personality or what they are as like a class or something. But these will vary. Like some of them will be mobility abilities. Some of them would be more offensive abilities. So maybe one person who their combo maybe does like a spinny kick, but then they have an ability that shoots like a projectile or something. But another person, it would be like a grappling hook, you know? So it's like regular combos, one major Hadouken, and then like 2 abilities that are tied to a button with a cooldown.
Right. Okay. So we'll have it. We'll have an ult. If this game gets big enough, Jay, we're gonna have a lot of. We could be like Fortnite, where we could have Iron Man facing off against Naruto.
We could. That'd be great.
Can't believe Naruto and Sasuke are in Fortnite. Can you believe that?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's wild. But in terms of what we could do in terms of future marketing and publicity on getting cameos would wholly dependent on who's producing this and who's developing it and like how much money is behind this. Because this could either be a small indie battle royale or it could be a major battle royale from like a major publication.
I almost want to make this simple and just say that like our powers are based off elements, so it's super easy to like make moves like, you know, a lightning type, an earth type, a fire type, a water type, a wind type.
I see what you mean. So like
steel, like elemental.
All of our hero fighters are like different people from the Avatar universe type of thing.
I didn't say who said that. I didn't say that. You said that.
I know what you mean though. Like more like Pokemon.
You know, people use leaves.
Yeah, if they're Pokemon typings. And then that's how we'll introduce new heroes. What happens when we run out? Are we gonna all of a sudden do like
we'll never
this is the love emotion?
That's that's when you start combining. Where you're like, okay, so a poison fire type would make explosive. So this dude's an explosive user.
This guy's Cosmos. He just black holes in space.
That'd be great. Or temporal timing. Actually, no. Whenever you add a stun character or stun moves into any game, people love them, then hate them.
Vegeta.
Yeah. Or remember that time in Destiny when they started adding those stasis or whatever the fuck?
Oh my god, dude. It was
yeah,
terrible.
See? So what is this game looking like here?
I guess in my head it kind of looks I guess it just kind of looks like a fucking fighting game. Like in my head,
can we make it rated R though? Like you get bloodied up and bruised, and your character gets swelling, and then like you start like bleeding and stuff. And like, let's say after a fight's done, if you win, but you lose like 50% of your health or more, you spit out a tooth.
In my head, it looked more like well, now that you put in the element part, I didn't see too much gore. I saw just really crazy effects and like pretty moves.
Yeah, good
and
effects.
Like I imagine like Demon Slayer fighting sequences, but in like game form.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's only because you added the elemental factor that these fighters are elemental power user type fighters.
Yeah, so it's got to look good like that.
Yeah.
On top of that, all right, what's the world looking like? Like, do you want to have different worlds and levels you drop into? That way they don't get bored.
I mean, how battle royales usually just go is there's one that you drop into, and that's what they have until like they add another one. But because these maps are so small, maybe at the beginning we'll have a small rotation of like 4 to 5 different environments, and like they all look different. Like one's a city, one's a desert, one's like a jungle. There has to be
an island because of Kumite, and just fight island and all that shit.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And like apt amount of cover, places to hide, and places to like go in and loot. And then like they would all have to, we would have to balance the maps where no matter where you are, when you get an arena started, there will be like interesting places for you to jump over and maneuver onto and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen the anime on Netflix called Baki?
Yes, I've heard of it. I don't know much about it.
I almost want it to be like that, where there's just these killers who are out in the world. Because do you want to use environmental stuff to your advantage too? Like
Dragon
you
Ball
can
does.
pick up items. Like you can pick up rocks. You can use like environmental stuff. So like if you're in a jungle, you can back up a character into a tree and then hit them one more time when they hit the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like spatial awareness.
I'm fine with that, like Street Fighter-esque type stuff. And then that'll make it so like you might want to start an arena at a specific spot because
especially if you're a different elemental user. Maybe that's why you'd want to run away when you're like, oh, this guy uses water and he's camping by the beach. What a bitch.
Yeah.
You just run away. You're just like,
that's
no,
true.
thank you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it will be, that certain areas go to elements in a better way than others. And then, once you learn a map, you'll know where to set up arenas or where to start fights, so you could like have advantage to certain environmental traps and cues. And then if a trap gets triggered, maybe it's just not usable for the rest of the game that round.
I like that. All right. What type of music are we listening to here? It's got to be inspirational.
I feel like it's gonna be that there is a theme, a general theme that plays with all the promotional material for this game. And then each character has a theme that is the main theme, but with the instruments of whatever ethnicity the character happens to be. You know what I mean?
We always make our music racial nowadays.
Well, I'm just basing that off how Apex does their music for their.
I get what you're saying. Like just in terms of like locational stuff. So you're trying to do okay.
Like if there was
we're
going to
be riding the line with
that.
So what do the Koreans got?
Yeah,
what are their element?
If there's a Korean fighter that was a electricity user or something, his theme would be like a K-pop version of the main theme, like a very poppy.
Or just, based off their personality. Yeah, K-pop would be dope.
Yeah. So stuff like that. Like the Japanese guy would get like a J-rock theme, and they have the power over grass.
Are we they're the village hidden in the leaves? They get grass type. So what do the brown people? Do the brown people get fire
or water?
Or water,
tropical, lots of water around them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It doesn't even have to be based off Earth. It could be like a random.
Europeans get ice or Earth type. They're not of the Earth,
but there's a lot of Earth there.
There is a lot of Earth. Maybe ice.
Yeah.
They're from cold places. Eivor. Vikings. Gotta play this right. Pricing. Or is there any other details that I'm missing here? What do you think?
I think there's definitely some rough spots, but I feel like I don't have the answers to fix them.
No, I don't know what to do there unless maybe we don't do a battle royale and then we just scrap that for like an interactive game where instead of us doing tournament style where when you play online in a fighting game, you have to wait in a bracket. You're like, here you guys go. Everyone go and fight who you want.
Yeah, it's the Riders Republic of fighting games where So
now you guys can choose different levels, and different levels have different advantages, and it's more about a story. Then we could hire that, where it does make sense to be like, on a beach, walking alone at sunset, you find a waterbender intent on ending your life. With this soft sand, you must use the earth to your advantage. Begin.
No, I actually do really like the battle royale idea. I think it would work. It's just the messy part comes in is after you finish a fight and then the people in queue, what actually happens? Like what is actually happening during that moment?
And you can't... Yeah, because it can't be anything like based off of mana or energy. Because you just have like, could you imagine as you're fighting this guy, you just see everyone as they're all charging their bars up so
Yeah.
that they're at full to fight you.
Or it's just if one guy just happens to get stuck and he just wanted to get in one fight and then go loot. And then he's like, fuck, now the next person's in line. And then, oh, man, another person came in line after this fight. And oh, man, another fight. I'm getting tired of fighting. I need to go like find better gear or whatever. These guys aren't dropping me anything. You know, like it's just, that's kind of what I want to avoid. But I mean, maybe that's part of the fun of it. Maybe in this type of battle royale, people want to do fight after fight after fight after fight. You know, maybe that's just how it goes.
That's true. That's where I'm thinking the fights aren't going to be that long.
Right.
Where it's going to be.
You're not doing two rounds. You're doing one health bar.
One round. Yeah. Sudden death. You guys aren't really like doing a strat. Like there's going to be a long time. It's going to be the way a fight would be in real life, you know, where it's not an anime. It's not going to last chapters. It's going to be someone makes the wrong move this time and they end up getting caught.
I think that'll actually work a lot smoother then, because then these arenas are only being set up for moments at a time, you know? And so the chance of a queue being started is only happening when it's like, let's say everyone wants to drop down in the same area all at once and everyone's just going to one concentrated spot. That's when you'll foresee like a lot of queues building up. But otherwise, yeah, these fights, maybe they're just super quick. Some end super quickly, some end a little bit longer. So there is a queue there. But by the time you head over to that area, maybe the winner gets there and maybe it's an invulnerability buff and a speed buff. After you win a fight, you have 10 seconds of invincibility and speed to just get out of there. And that can be clearly marked, like you have like a beacon on top of you or something. But then, yeah, each time an arena gets set up, it's visible from any spot in the world, in the map, unless a building is like blocking that specific arena. And then fighters either try to make their way towards it or ignore it and try to go find more loot or find another fight. And then that arena is only going to be set up for like, let's say 5 seconds at the shortest, 1 minute at like the longest. And that's like,
yeah,
a rough
if everyone's
estimate.
dodging each other's moves and
if they're really good fights. Yeah.
All right. Pricing.
Free to play. That's just how battle royales go.
FTP. That's right.
With a $20 season pass.
Sounds good to me. That's how you get instead of yellow lightning, you get that blue lightning, and you get the blue flames, and you get the fall leaves, and you get the
oh, that would be crazy if it's like, yeah, like Overwatch, and we get like super small cosmetic stuff you could unlock. It's not just skins. You could unlock like like Ghost of Tsushima, where you could unlock like each thing, like the helmet, the chest, the bottom, and then the sword effect. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
You could even have different fire, or you could have messy fire where there's like droplets falling off, or I like this.
For sure.
All right, Jay. We need that timer because we're going to name this game. I already got it.
Do you know?
Yes.
Go.
Survivor.
That can't be allowed, right?
What other game's named Survivor?
The one that's based off the hit TV show Survivor.
I think that's Survivor, the TV show, the game.
How about like
Strongest Fist.
I'm trying to think like, what if it's
Bloody
like
Knuckles?
What if it's like the saying in this universe? It's like, I'll see you in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, see you in the ring, or like in the ring, or we'll settle this in the ring. Settle.
No, if we're gonna call it Settle, might as well call it Survivor. If this game isn't good, you know how many stupid review titles and little snippets are gonna be about Settle? Why you shouldn't settle on this game.
That's true.
A review by Alex Gonzalez.
But But you know what I mean? What if like it's like every before a new season drops with like a new hero, they'll have like an interview at the very end, and the legend turns to the camera and is like, "We'll see you in the games."
Okay, let me see what it's called.
Hey.
Okay, I swear it's called like Kumite or something.
Hey.
Hold on, I'll find it.
All right. While you find it, I'm gonna try and calm this dog down. Calm this dog down.
Kumite, I think is what it's called. Do you know anything about Kumite?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You didn't know about Ku either. I'm being brought to the App Store for no reason. Oh my god! I spelled okay. So Kumite it's literally translated from Japanese to grappling hands and is one of three main sections of karate, along with kata and kihon. Kumite is the part of karate in which a person trains against an adversary. It was used for street fighting too. There are many underground fight clubs involving kumite using the techniques learned. Kumite can be used to develop a particular technique or a skill, judging and adjusting one's distance from one's opponent, and it can be done in competition. You want to do kumite? I'll see you in the kumite.
I don't know about that one. I don't need all that work for that. But kumite isn't just a funny word.
How about Kyokushinkai? No.
Round 1. Battle start.
Battle start.
Ready, fight.
I'm seeing here now. Tooth and nail. They fight tooth and nail. No. This one's a difficult one now. It was easy with Survivor. No, it's not. Okay, let's see if I can find something.
Very close to Survivor. What if he called it Champion?
Oh, we're gonna call it Champion. How about Death Struggle? Literally, Battle Royale would be the name of this, but that doesn't count. And the other name is Mortal Kombat, but that doesn't count either. Fight to live. Will you fight to live? And then we can say that they say FTL.
Sure, we'll go with that. Fight to live in 5 minutes and 52 seconds.
Fight to Live is a battle royale fighting game where you engage in choosing a fighter that has different elemental masteries and battling up to 20 other people in a map. You can do fights where you queue up against each other, and fights last anywhere between 5 seconds to a minute, on average 15 seconds, 20 seconds, where you use special masteries of the elements as well as your own fighting techniques as you see who can win in this fight to the death. All right, Jay. I think we have a game here. What do you think? Would this be a game you'd want to play? And is it fun?
Yeah, I would give it a shot. I mean, it's free to play, so why not just check it out for a little bit? Probably not going to stick around too long if it's super combo heavy, because I suck at fighting games.
That's true. I think people who suck at fighting games won't have a place here. I give it a shot. If I'm good and I connect with it, so be it. If there's like an element that I resonate with, I'll stay there. If I just get my ass kicked all the time and I feel bad, probably not.
Yeah. Since the fights are so quick, I feel like you just have to be really good and really fast on the sticks.
That's true. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to be able to make Fight to the Death the best?
Let's just go with Ubisoft. They're looking for a battle royale. Hyperscape failed.
Fight for your life, right?
Fight to Live, but I like Fight for Your Life better.
All right, Fight for Your Life.
Fight for Your Life.
3 minutes.
It was 5 minutes, almost 6, but yeah. But yeah, I think Ubisoft can do something with it. I don't know if they have a fighting game though. Like, that's the thing. You need to have a good person who can make a good fighting game, because in fighting games, especially one that's going to be this quick, you probably have to make sure, I don't know, contact distance or whatever is good, reactions are good, and balance is all good and all that. But
exactly.
Everyone else already has a fighting game. You know what I mean?
I would go with CyberConnect 2. And these are the developers between the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm series.
Yeah, they also made all the dot hack games.
Right. And I think they could do crazy different powers while also kind of making it feel arcadey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they consistently get pretty good ratings,
Yeah. Hear me out.
It'd be, yes.
Just Sony in general, maybe Santa Monica, maybe, I don't know, some other random Sony studio. But what if this was like a Sony first party exclusive free to play battle royale game that was made by, I don't know, like Insomniac or something, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like a Sony developed. It could be the next Destruction All-Stars. Who knows?
That would be very, very interesting if it were like the next Destruction All-Stars or of that nature. Instead of
Naruto versus whoever you said, it's Drake versus Joel. I don't know. Right, those are both Naughty Dog games, but I couldn't think of it. Horizon, Aloy versus the person from Forspoken, the chick from Forspoken, whatever her name is. Sam or something like that.
And then the easiest one to do this with, I think, who doesn't have a game like this, but could easily jump in, and I think people would check it out, would be NetherRealm Studios. Like, it makes sense.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if they were to have like Mortal Kombat characters as well as the elemental heroes in here.
Much more realistic looking game than what I pictured in my head, but that's okay.
That's true. That's true. I was just reaching for another developer that was good with fighting games but doesn't do Battle Royale, which is many, I guess. Many.
I would go more like Capcom in that sense then.
That'd be another good one.
Yeah.
And with that, our 190th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to apphoundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we create today. Also, give us feedback. We are still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Fight for Your Life, the video game we just created. Thank you for joining us today. We will be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is AG.
And I'm J.E.
And please remember that we are not video game devs. Thank you.
Earlier, you mentioned the title Death Struggle, and then from that moment on, all I could think about is in Kingdom Hearts 2, there was this fight thing that they called Struggle, and you just beat each other with these overgrown foam sticks. And it was like, I don't know, it was a big part of the opening to Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's all I could think about is Struggle.
That's right. I do remember that.
And Cypher, whatever his name was, is voiced by Eric Matthews.
I was listening to some orchestral music on the way to the gym today, and it was pretty good. And I was like, man, Kingdom Hearts really did, before their formula got, I don't know what happened to it, but Prime Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, that music was so good.
Dude.
It was powerful.
Kingdom Hearts music is great. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Amazing.
Yeah. It's very good. Especially, going in and just the swells and the instruments. My
favorite thing from Kingdom Hearts is the violin bit. No, 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 no.
I loved or when Sephiroth gets in there. Sephiroth. It was always so dramatic.
Yeah. Good music.
Good music.